Hello everyone. Today, in my video review, I have this rather unusually designed Bushnell binoculars. That's exactly why I decided to make a video about it. I got it quite cheaply. I bought it at an auction and I really liked its design. This binocular was made in Japan. According to the markings on the objective lens cap on both the left and right sides, it can be said that it has full single layer coating. Therefore, I can conclude that this binocular was produced around the 1960s or 1970s of the last century. Furthermore, it also features the specific inscriptions safety vision, which signifies enhanced eye protection, and UV filters, which clearly indicates that these binoculars are equipped with full ultraviolet protection for the user. I don't know how true that is. Maybe back then it was just a marketing ploy, or maybe the optics really do have some kind of coating that prevents ultraviolet rays from penetrating the binoculars. Looking through the eyepiece, I can say with 100% certainty that the binoculars have back 4 glass prisms inside. The binoculars really aren't very heavy considering their size. They're made from a magnesium alloy. It has this kind of covering which makes it quite comfortable to hold in your hands. But I'll tell you, it's somewhat bulky. The focus wheel, in my opinion, is designed very, very poorly because when holding the binoculars in my hands, look here, I can't reach the focus wheel. So I have to take it and specifically refocus with one hand and then hold it again. In other words, it's just too bulky. The binoculars have a field of view of 7 degrees, which is somewhat higher than other binoculars with the same 10 by 50 specifications. Next, I'll show you in fast forward how I take it apart, clean it, and put it back together. And then we will take a look at exactly how it performs.
At first glance, it may seem that disassembling binoculars is difficult, but in reality, you just shouldn't be afraid. Luckily, the eyepieces are clean, so I won't be cleaning the lenses again. We unscrew the prism covers and take them out. Underneath them are 2 prisms, connected together on a special platform. Next, we unscrew the objective lens cover, take a special tool, and unscrew the retaining ring. You need to do this carefully so as not to damage the glass. We take out the 2 prisms. They are secured with 3 screws. Overall, the prisms are not very dirty, but there is some fungus present on them. And next, before applying any alcohol to these prisms, I first thoroughly rinse each of them under a stream of cool running water. Then I carefully apply a small amount of alcohol and start wiping them down gently with a clean cloth. I also noticed that it's very effective to simply wipe them using your fingers. Just like that, without anything else, just rubbing the glass with your fingers. Of course, there will be streaks, but you can wipe off the fungus. Then we continue wiping with a very clean and soft cloth. Finally, we blow air over the prism so that not a single speck of dust remains. So, was there anything difficult? Probably not. We assemble the 2 prisms together again and insert them into the binocular body. Let's move on to the lenses. This lens here has already been cleaned. Now let's see how to properly clean a lens. First, we apply a bit of alcohol to our cleaning cloth, and then we begin wiping the glass surface in a gentle circular motion from the center outward. While you're watching this video, please take a moment to write in the comments what the oldest pair of binoculars you own is, or have ever had, and from what year. For example, the oldest binocular I personally have is a Zeiss from back in 1901. But somehow I just can't find the time to properly clean and take it apart. It would take quite a bit of time, and of course I want to film a video about it. but for now, I just don't have the time. You've already seen how I mounted the lens into the housing. Next, I apply a very thin layer of lubricant so that the adjustment screws turn quite easily and it's not difficult for me to align the binoculars. In the video description, of course, I'll leave a link on how to align the binoculars. And in general, if you have any questions, write them in the comments. I will definitely reply. As I already said, the lenses are cleaned. I don't like repairing and cleaning the lenses, so I got lucky. We install the lenses back into the binocular body. Don't forget to tighten the locking screw on the other side so that the lenses don't come loose. And next I'll be doing the alignment. This is how it turned out. You see a nice clean binocular. Everything inside is clean, the coating is preserved. Now let's see how it performs. I'll give you a spoiler right away. This is a binocular from the 60s or 70s, so don't expect anything extraordinary.
Such gloomy weather, rainy clouds, and we're filming through binoculars. I'll say right away that the image overall is quite pleasant to the eyes. I won't say that the image is super sharp or anything, no. Well, I mean, in the center it's more or less okay, but towards the edges, of course, it could be better. In general, almost all binoculars from the 70s and 80s that have a fairly wide field of view mostly have noticeable distortion. The field curvature in this binocular is also quite noticeable. The image is sharp in the center, but towards the edges, it gradually becomes more and more blurred. Sorry that I'm filming without a tripod. The image is a bit shaky, but I'm shooting this in a single take. And as you can see, the image is almost completely sharp everywhere. That is, the depth of field of this binocular is quite high. Considering that there are now modern binoculars with quite high quality images at a low price, it's hard for me to recommend this binocular. Well, it's very bulky, very heavy. The focus wheel is placed in an inconvenient location. Well, that's simply because the body is very large. So to recommend it and say that it's like a really great binocular, well, I won't do that. If only it had a much more compact body so you could easily reach the focus wheel with your fingers, well then, maybe for a small price of, I don't know, say $20, you could actually buy such binoculars. And then the important question arises, wouldn't it be much better to buy something far more modern and compact by adding, let's say, another $30 to your budget? Thank you all so very much for watching this entire video today, and I truly look forward to seeing you all again next time.